Welcome to episode 2 of this series. I guess I'm going to be splitting this up into several different sections. 10-minute increments. I think that's pretty palatable. We're still at the train station. I actually recorded for a long time. So, something I noticed when. Oh, yeah, we were talking to the station not station supervisor. We were talking to a security guard. She was kind of a little bit grumpy, but I can't remember what I was getting ready to say. Oh, it was something about something. Or still at the train station. Oh yeah. So when I got home, I noticed that for some reason the camera recorded in 10-minute increments. Like it recorded 10 minutes of a clip and then it would immediately start up another recording, and I'm not really sure why that was. Maybe it's got something to do with keeping the file sizes down, because I am using a new type of thing. Alright, we're outside now, overlooking the street there. Whoa, it's so far down. He was pointing to something I can't remember. There's a train. I really like how the 3D looks in this. It's very good. And it's also the way it is that, and this is the way our eyes work, obviously. The farther off something is, the lesser the 3D effect is. It has less volume, and that's why things way off in the distance don't really have that much depth to them. But it's there. It's infinite depth. We walked down these stairs, and the ceiling was actually pretty low. I could reach up and touch it with my hand. Not really much to see in there, just a lot of space. But it's a pretty interesting place if I wanted to film anything, like a narrative thing. Oh, Casey was getting ready to go talk to the security. Ooh, okay, yeah. I don't know why I did that. I thought it was like, ooh, 3D. He's talking to him about the lady. Just kind of got my camera pointed off to the side because I didn't feel like stopping the recording. What are you talking about? Security guard wanted to know who we might be able to contact, which I'm pretty sure I could go ahead and contact now. I'm not sure when I would be able to go back up. Like I know when I could go back up there. I'm just not sure if I'm gonna be wanting to. Oh, this is from that that statue was actually from the whoa, crazy. It was actually from the Neptune Festival. I might actually push things back a little bit more in this because things are a bit closer to the camera than I like. So we were like, all right, we're gonna leave now, and I was like, hey, let's go check out the let's go check out the canal walk, which is another one of the places I had gone to initially, and all that video was lost. So this is a place where all this is at. Is a place called Shaco Bottom in Richmond, and it's like the club scene, I guess. There's a lot of clubs down here, restaurants, you know, gentlemen's clubs, that kind of thing. I don't really actually go down there. In fact, I didn't really go down there till recently. Um, I've been down there before, but it wasn't until, like I said, within the last few weeks that I really started exploring around down there, seeing what was there. And there's a lot of interesting things down there. If you live in the Richmond area or just near Richmond, Well, if you live in the Richmond area, you probably have already been down through there a few times. But if you're not, if you haven't, I'd recommend checking it out. We have to wait for the light to turn green or red. A lot of this is just waiting. There we go. They also had an art installation up hanging down from the interstate. I believe that's I-95. I think that's what that is, or it's a road that leads to I-95. Oh, so I should mention, I have like 3 bags. So one of them is just like a normal backpack that I carry some notebooks and some hair bands and my hairbrush and the sync marker board. And then I have the tripod bag, which I also put the longer stick in that goes on the tripod. And then I have the camera bag. I think I already talked about all that. But that was in the last episode. So we're just walking and talking about stuff. Not really much to say about this. It was a pretty damn nice day. It did end up getting hot a little bit later on, but during the earlier part of the day, it was very beautiful outside. Very serene. Of course, we went out early, man. We left or by the time we were done with all this, it was like 12 something. Here we are at the street crossing. Some dudes on bikes. Oh, so for those of you who don't know, that big building right there. So way back in the day, Shockoe Bottom used to flood all the time because the James River, as you're gonna see, is like right next to it, and it would flood all the time. So they made these gigantic flood walls around the area, and these massive gates that is just absolutely unbelievable. And that building right there, I think, is one of the control buildings for that. I'm not really sure what that big metal thing there does. I'm not 100% on how that works. I'd like to find out. They haven't used any of this for quite a while, but it's really neat to look at. I might see the rest of the wall a little bit later. Just blows my mind. But thankfully it hasn't flooded. They haven't had to use the walls or anything like that. And it's been all good. It's a train up ahead. A lot of train. Man. A lot of train. Oh no, why is the camera tilted? That's not good. So you're looking for a place to cross, because there really isn't any, so you just kind of gotta hoof it. Just kind of gotta do it. Just yeet on them. So we're getting up to the canal here, and they have boat rides on the canal, and you'll see where the boats are in a bit. But I was considering doing a boat ride. Like I just jumped up those steps. Canal is pretty long. It was part of this huge effort by, I think it was George Washington, to make this big old canal run down the length of the river, or up and down the east coast, and this is part of it. Obviously that they don't use it like that anymore. It's just kind of a tourist attraction, and you'll see a lot of this stuff. I keep talking, I keep getting ahead of myself. You'll see a bit later that it's actually blocked off. The canal has been cut in two, but it still continues on the other side of that cut. Another low train trestle. There are a lot of train bridges. Richmond during the Civil War, if you know anything about the Civil War, which if you live on the East Coast, you probably definitely do. It was the capital of the Confederacy, I believe, and it held all the major railroads. And once the Union took Richmond back by burning it to the ground, And that'll be a story for another video, because there actually is a historical walk, Tredegar and all that. Once they burned Richmond to the ground and took it back over, they controlled the railroads, and they were basically able to make the South start hurting. So a lot of people like to come run down through here on their bikes and things. And you can even take your own boats out onto the river or the canal, the canal. Just recorded a lot of nonsense.